Hello everyone, welcome to Amy's Bookshelf. Welcome to my TBR for June. So, I'm kind of doing things a little differently. To be honest, the energy has been low. I just came off of a work day where I worked an extra hour to get stuff done around the daycare. And now, I'm filming. So we're gonna give me a little bit of grace. It's also my birthday month in June, and that's gonna play into what's going on. So to sum it up, I read every single prompt that I needed to, except for a one-word title, which I am actively reading Police by Jo Nesbø. It's taken a while. I will finish it if it kills me this weekend. I am positive. It is Friday. I have like 3-4 days left. 5, I can't count anymore. But I will be doing it. I promise. I promise. Because I have not only do I have I want to finish a book, but we're reading the next book in June, starting June 1st. So I'll be reading The Thirst by Jo Nesbø with Bernadette and Nikki, and we pushed it back to June for the sake of all of our schedules, and Nikki especially, which we really didn't want to read without her. So that's starting. So I have a very tight deadline to finish the Police, or just Police. One word title. So that's what I'm reading for. So that's good. I have finished everything. So I'm going to count that as a win. I did a spinner wheel already. So this was the result. I got, I just saw it, book club. I just did the spinner wheel. I got a book club book. So for the book club book, I will be probably reading my next month's book because I don't think I'm going to get it in time. I'll show you what I mean. But on top of that, I'm sorry, I'm very scattered. On top of that, I do not put prompts back in the mug. So I looked and see how many prompts were in here, and I believe I had 8. So we will be still pulling for different rooms. I'm just not pulling out the board because, to be honest, I'm very lazy at the moment, and we're gonna go with it. We're just gonna pick prompts out of the jar without the board. I promise I will assign 2 cards to each room as we go, and one of the rooms will be my book club book. Okay, so this one is an arc. So for an arc, I have a couple books coming out. I haven't planned which arcs I'm going to pick up, but I will put a picture up here of one of them that I do need to get to. I know I have one by Karen Whitmire. I also have one by Lee Goldberg that's coming out in August, so I might be going to get onto that one. And I also have an arc of a graphic novel, which is, I believe, Pandora's Box, and that comes out in July. So I'll probably read that one too as I'm doing Readathon, and we'll get to that shortly after pulling all the draws. So definitely a good variety of choices, and I will definitely finish this off as I have several on the go. Next one will be an in real life recommendation. Now I'm gonna do it this time, I promise. So for the buzzword Readathon, like I said, long day. For Buzzwordathon, the prompt this month is the word other in the title. So I am going to do it, and I'm going to read The Other Bennett Sister. It has other in the title, but it is an in real life recommendation from my cousin Megan. So, and I mean, I've heard lots of people rave about this, which is terrifying because I'm afraid I'm going to hate it. But I'm going to do it this month. I'm going to do it before Jane Austen July, so I don't feel pressured in July to read The Other Bennett Sister. Next prompt. Okay. So this one is similar to a favorite. Now, I'm going to take this real easy. Really easy. I'm going to read my Agatha Christie for this. So this is my Agatha Christie for the month. They do it with mirrors. This is a Miss Marple, and I adore Miss Marple. She is so fun, and I love her in books, and it's so sad when her books don't contain much of Miss Marple. But this is a very short one. This one will be for the Read Christie 2023 prompt of a gunshot as a method of murder. So I am excited. Clearly, it's a gunshot. I don't know what is going on in this. I just know that it's a Miss Marple and someone dies by gunshot. So I'm excited. I am almost done Miss Marple, and this is going to be putting me pretty close to the end, if not the end of her work, which is a sad but happy day too, because that's feeling like that's an accomplishment. Okay, next one will be, ugh, I don't want to do this. Timeless Tome. I have not done those videos in ages. I have not been reading a lot of big classics lately. Speaking of classics, I will do my author jar poll right away. I'll grab that. But I have not been doing many of those lately. But I will be reading a classic for Readathon, which I can definitely do a Timeless Tomes video on if anyone's interested. That will be the Iliad. This one I am very excited to read. I have read the Odyssey, and I have heard this one is best read after the Odyssey, but I have never read anything about the Iliad, or aside from the fact I know it's like the war in Troy, so it's before the events of Odyssey. But yeah, I'm excited to give it a shot and check it out. This book, or this version, it doesn't have a translator on the cover, so I'm not sure who the translator is, but I will be enjoying it. I'm sure. I'm hopeful. So let's go with this. Next one. Okay, a Clue-like character. I gotta think about this. Okay, I'm actually gonna switch it out. So I was having this in position for like a favorite. I'm now gonna put this in for a Clue-like character. Miss Marple is definitely like a little detective, and I'm sure the people in the village will be very similar to her characters, or the characters in that. So this is actually about a rehabilitation center. I guess that kind of works. They're all in one house, and the administrator is shot at. Perfect. Mr. Body gets killed many ways. I'm gonna go with that. But for a book that's like a favorite, I'm actually gonna go with a graphic novel retelling, which is Beowulf. So I saw this at the bookstore and bought it instantly. This one is by Santiago Garcia and David Rubin. This one is quite a, I don't know, sharp lines, detailed graphic novel. And I have been literally saving this for June, for Readathon. I have been saving it. I read Beowulf last year and I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to read the graphic novel. So it's like a favorite. It was one of my favorite reads last year at Readathon. So why not go with this for a favorite? It's really big and floppy, but I'm really excited to read this. Okay, next one. Random author letter. Okay, maybe Google can help me out. Hey Google, give me a random letter.
E.
E. So I need to find an E for an author name. Let me think. It can be first or last. Okay, let's go with this one. I am kind of scared to put this on because I feel like I'm an interesting reader, and I feel like some people must have to be like this in the world, but I am particular. If I read a great book and I love it by an author, I read a lot more by that author. And if I get a bad book by that author, I rarely go back. It's kind of a weird situation. I'm like one and done. I'm burned if you burn me. Anyways, so I'm gonna put this one on. E for Emily, from Emily Henry. Book lovers I've heard great things about, and I am excited to pick this up. I did buy it brand new and I still have not read it. So here's hoping it will be the right thing. I might find a different E book, but right now this is what I'm going with. And yeah, I'm hopeful. I have enjoyed Emily Henry's books before, but I think the People Meet on Vacation one, it didn't strike me the best way. I loved Beach Read, but yeah, we'll give this one a shot. Last one is 2018 to 2019 TBR. That's gonna take some work. I genuinely want to read this one, but it's the last book in the series, and for some reason I'm not picking it up. But this is Possibilities by Deborah White-Smith. This is the final book I need to read in her Jane Austen retelling series, and this is a retelling of Persuasion. Now, last year I tried to read Jane Austen July and did not get to it, so I'm not gonna try reading it outside of Jane Austen July, and hopefully that will take off the pressure. So this will be my current pick for that TBR pull. So I realized that I am missing one prompt. I have 7 pulls. I guess I miscounted, but I will be doing my book club book, which I will still be putting in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This one I did not get to in May, and I will get to it in June. My book club is reading it for July, so I have plenty of time, and this will be a reread. So I'm going to be putting this one back on the TBR. In regards to my last prompt, since I really don't want to get out the new jar and make it all full again, I'm gonna make that be whatever author I pull from here and just try that. Seeing as I'm missing one, let's just do that. I haven't pulled from here yet. So we are pulling George Orwell. Well, that's the push I needed to pick him up. So George Orwell. I'm also gonna give myself a second name to pull just so I can read at least one of them. And Ellery Queen, which that's a mystery author. I think that's a pseudonym for that. Okay, so we'll be reading George Orwell for my prompt, and I'll be trying to read Ellery Queen as well. Oh wait, Ellery Queen is an E name. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna switch that out. I'm feeling pressured. I do want to read this eventually, but honestly, the pressure is not something I'm loving. So we're gonna take this out and we'll read an Ellery Queen book. I don't know which one yet. I'll pop the picture up here. I think I have an audiobook of Ellery Queen. So yeah, that'll be my E author. And then George Orwell will be my other prompt. So I can definitely read George Orwell. I have several I need to read, and I'm not a dystopian fan, so we're gonna make it work. Okay, so that worked out quite nicely. Now let's go over the Ancients-a-thon TBR and the Golden Girls Readathon TBR, because I am participating in the Golden Girls Readathon. So let's go over Ancients-a-thon first, because we've already covered multiple of those books. So the prompts are very simple this year. No group read or anything, just a play, a nonfiction, and some poetry. So this one technically is a play, no, a poem. I think it's an epic poem that was turned into a graphic novel, but I do have other options too. So that is one option. And my goodness, this book is huge. Don't fall. Okay. So then for my other poetry, I have obviously the Iliad, which is a big play. It's an epic, oh goodness, epic poem, not a play. I have another play on here, I promise. I know this is not a play. So yes, I'll be reading the Iliad for that prompt as well. Then I have a couple little Black Penguin classics. This one is Kenko, A Cup of Sake Beneath the Cherry Trees, which is a poetry collection from, I believe, 1200s or in 1300s in Japan. So this will be a really interesting poetry. I'm hoping to get to it. Well, I was hoping to get to it soon, and this is a perfect push to put on a little itty bitty book on my TBR. And the other one is Sophocles, which is Antigone. I haven't read any Greek plays before, like ancient Greek plays, so this will be a first, and I'm excited for that. So yeah, I think this is a poetry collection. Maybe it's just a collection of essays. No, that was gonna happen no matter what. This is an essay collection. So essays, so nonfiction, play, and poetry, which is now on my beautifully book that's dented. Okay, moving on to Golden Girls. So the first prompt is to read a book set or published in the 1980s or 90s. So I will be picking up Survive the Night by Riley Sagar. I have heard really great things about this. And this is actually an in real life recommendation as well. My coworker and friend loved this book. She told me I had to read it. And this is before she knew that I liked Riley Sagar. So I'm excited to pick it up. And yeah, I've heard really low things about it, but I feel like whenever I read a book that people tend to not like, I have really low expectations, and then I enjoy it a lot more. So yeah, I'm excited about this one for that reason. And I'm excited to read another Riley Sagar. It's been a while since I have. Another prompt is to read a book by a member of the LGBTQ community. I'm reading To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. I feel really bad for not getting to my author jar pulls lately. And this is one of my author jar pulls. I don't know anything about this, but it is a modern classic by Virginia Woolf. We're gonna give her a shot because I don't know if her writing style is my style or not, but we'll see. I know she liked Jane Austen, so there's that in common. The next one is A Found Family. So for this one, I am actually gonna be going with a buddy read. And to my surprise, we are reading the whole trilogy. I figured this out when we were messaging back and forth and we didn't understand it perfectly, but I am reading with Paige from Pages of Page, the entirety of the Shadow of Bone series. So this Shadow and Bone series. So from what I understand, this one has a found family aspect, and I have wanted to read the series. I want to know what the hype is all about, and I'm excited to pick this one up. So we'll see about that. Okay, next one. The next one is a title-related prompt, which is having the word girls in the title. So my book club book is perfect for this, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm going with it. The next one is an old favorite. So I'm gonna go with Beowulf because I did really love it last year, and I'm excited, and so you can't believe how excited I am to reread Beowulf, but also read it in a graphic novel form. I'm so excited to pick that one up. So that is my old favorite. So it's kind of a reread, but kind of not. The next one is to read a book that your girl would read. Now I'm gonna be reading for Team Dorothy because I am a total Dorothy in so many ways. So I'm going to be reading any of my ancient literature for this prompt of a Dorothy read. I feel like she would read the ancient plays, essays from Japan, or the Iliad. So we're going with that. Also, as a side note, this is my book for the Book Covered Book Club, as this has orange all over the cover. Well, not all over, but the helmet is orange, and that is the prompt for the Book Covered Book Club this month. For the Dorothy prompts, we have the prompt of a classic retelling. So I'm going to be reading The Other Bennett Sister for that. It's a Pride and Prejudice retelling, so I'm going to go with it. The next one is a New York setting, or New York City setting. I don't know if this one's set in New York, but this is by Andy Warhol, who was writing in New York, I believe. It says that he died in Manhattan, New York in 1987. So I'm going to go with this one. This one's a collection of essays as well about fame and beauty and love. So very short, very simple. He died in New York. I'm sure he was writing in New York, and a lot of New York influenced his thoughts on things. So I'm sure this is going to imply, and if not, I'll just reread Great Gatsby or something. The next one is to read a middle grade or a YA book. So I'm going to be reading one or both. Well, I guess I'll be reading both no matter what, of the Leigh Bardugo books. So Siege and Storm or Ruin and Rising. So these are both YA, and that'll be perfect for her prompt. Like I said, well, I don't know if I said earlier, I don't know anything about Shadow and Bone series. I just know everyone loves it. So that's why I want to read it. The last thing I need to read for the Golden Girls Readathon is an award-winning book. So I looked up award-winning nonfiction because I just felt like this was lacking nonfiction, essentially. And I found If You Ask Me and You Won't, by Betty White, which I found as an audiobook for like 2 hours. And it is just like, I feel like it's perfect to listen to for the Golden Girls. It won some sort of award, and I'm just excited to read it. And it's just, I think about Betty White's like outlook on life or her memoir. I'm not sure. I know Chris from Chris's Corner has read it. They loved it. And I'm excited to pick this one up. So I'm going to be reading Betty White's memoir book for the Golden Girls Readathon. I feel like it's just perfect. The last one I want to talk about is the Golden Girls Reading Challenge, which I have been doing. And this one will be to read a book that has mental health in it. Now, I'm not sure if the thirst applies. I feel like it might, because it is about Harry has an addiction, and he is an alcoholic in the series, and certain books he's doing better than others, and certain books he's really struggling. But I feel like that is a mental health struggle, and I feel like it counts. However, if not, I'll find something that's equally applicable. I wonder if any of these would have it. Let me know if like the Shadow and Bone series has anything mental health related that I can just throw in there, because it would take one less book off of my extra books I need to find, because I am reading The Thirst for a buddy read. But, you know, any of these books that have mental health rep in them, I would love to hear your thoughts on that if they have any. So please leave me a recommendation down below if these don't, and you don't think that The Thirst counts. Give me a recommendation down below, and I'll see if I can pick it up. But yeah, this is my TBR. They do apply to each room of TBR Clue. I will still be going off of this. However, I just felt too lazy today, and that's just the way it goes. So I hope that you have enjoyed this TBR Clue board list, TBR Clue round this month. I hope that you have a great and fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.
house that I don't know.